for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Corman?
Here.
Mr. Taylor?
Here.
Mr. Zwicker?
Here.
Ms. Breyer? Here. Mr. Prince?
Here.
Mr. Person?
Here.
Ms. Palmer?
Here.
Roll call, Mr. Mayor, all present.
Thank you. First item on the agenda is a special proclamation.
Proclamation, National Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Whereas domestic violence is a serious and widespread social problem in our nation, with approximately 1/3 of all female homicide victims being killed by an intimate partner. And whereas it has been estimated that every 9 seconds a woman is beaten by her husband or boyfriend in this country, and in more than half those instances, children under the age of 12 are present. And whereas 45% of the assaults occurring in Washington State in 2012 were domestic violence, and 1 in 5 women in the state will report being injured by domestic violence sometime in her lifetime. And whereas 53 people were murdered as well as a result of domestic violence in the state of Washington in 2012, and whereas families and communities are strengthened by holding domestic violence perpetrators accountable for their crimes. And whereas recognizing domestic violence victims is important for our communities to promote healing and empowerment. And whereas October is nationally recognized as Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and increasing public awareness and understanding of domestic violence will promote safety, health, and wellness for victims. Now therefore, I, Dennis Law, Mayor of the City of Renton, do hereby proclaim the month of October 2013 to be Domestic Violence Awareness Month in the City of Renton, and encourage everyone in our community to take an active role in supporting all victims so they can lead healthy lives, safe from violent and abusive behavior. In witness whereof, I've hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Renton to be affixed this 7th day of October 2013, signed Dennis Law, Mayor of the City of Renton.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Taylor.
I move that this proclamation be adopted as read.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Taylor, seconded by Mr. Prince, that council adopt this proclamation as read. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. And it's my pleasure to present this to Tina Harris, who has got to be one of the best domestic violence victim advocates that this county has, and we're fortunate to have her here in Renton. Tina?
Here, here.
If I can just take a few moments to say a few words. Good evening, Mayor Law, council members, city employees, and Renton residents. Thank you for signing this proclamation of Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Since last October, the police department has received approximately 670 reports of domestic violence. Whereas officers are continuing to educate, support, assist victims while on location, and prevent and allow them safety planning while at the scene. This crime affects our communities in several ways: loss of jobs, increase of homelessness, lack of child care, increased health cost, education and relocation, along with the emotional and physical impact of the victims, children, and the families here in our community. The Renton Domestic Violence Task Force would like to thank the mayor and the council members for continued support for the victims in our community. By the continued funding of the domestic violence programs, our prosecution, our human services, and our probation department. Our domestic violence programs continue to put victim safety first and allow them to network with the community-based programs as we refer them to the individuals with high-quality organizations that meet the needs of some, but not all victims in our community. Our continued agreement with the King County Prosecutor's Office, whereby we have a King County prosecutor who comes once a week to staff our domestic violence cases here in the city of Renton, whereby she can work with our prosecutors and our detectives for global resolutions and allow for the defendants to be held accountable. Our city prosecutor's office has changed ways in which our domestic violence cases are handled by moving away from the direct filing to where the prosecutors actually review the cases sooner and we're able to contact the victims quicker. This appears to be working very well, as in the past year we have been able to have a higher resolution of guilty convictions. The court has utilized our probation officers for our repeat and high-risk offenders to obtain additional information prior to sentencing so that the judges can make informed decisions and have input from probation if this person is amenable to treatment. With these continued services, victims can make changes in leaving the situation when safety for them and knowing that they are reporting crimes of domestic violence and they will be treated with respect and they will be listened to when calling 911. We as a city have services to help victims of domestic violence, and for that, I thank you. We as a community need to continue to educate and take action against domestic violence. We need to recognize that this is a serious crime and that lives are lost daily in our nation because of domestic violence. Let's continue to be proactive and not reactive. Let's continue to be a part of the solution and not part of the problem. Let us not forget Barbara and Beretta and Jessica and Kathy and Fatima and Dean and Crystal. Their lives cut way too short due to domestic violence. Thank you for taking this time to recognize the victims and the survivors in our community and making a difference in their lives by signing the proclamation.
Thank you, Tina.
Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda is a special presentation. Before we start that, I'd like to just speak about a volunteer who's been involved with Renton River Days for many, many years, who we lost today. I think just about everybody here knows Suzanne Thompson. Most of the people know her as the elf that could be seen on the commercials during the holidays at McClendon's, for McClendon's Hardware. And she's been an ambassador for McClendon's and a huge, huge contributor to this community for many, many years. Renton River Days was one of her passions. Seroptimus, she's very active in the Renton Piazza Group for all of the farmers market events, and in fact Saturday we saw her down there for the Harvest Fest. She was an active board member for the Renton Chamber of Commerce, active with the Salvation Army, active with Renton Technical College, and the list just goes on and on and on. So our hearts really go out to Dave Thompson and all the people, at McClendon's that have worked with her for many, many years. So anyway, with that, we're going to have a cheerier note about the success of the Renton River Days this year, and I know Suzanne played a role in that. So, Sonia.
Thank you, Mayor Law. It's a wonderful tribute and opportunity to celebrate Suzanne and take this opportunity to even dedicate this presentation in her honor. She loved our festival. So good evening, Mayor Law, Council President Corman, members of council, and guests. My name is Sonia Maylander, Community Relations and Events for the City of Renton, and Festival Coordinator for Renton River Days. It is my pleasure to present this year's event report for the 28th anniversary and the 2013 IKEA Renton River Days. To start our presentation and set the scene for this year's festival, we'd like to share the video produced for this year. It was posted to YouTube, the festival's homepage, Facebook pages, and the City of Renton's video gallery. Okay.
That speaks for itself.
I'm done. We're good to go.
You don't
Yeah.
have to.
Yeah, thank you. So continuing with the PowerPoint portion of our presentation, our report will highlight the collaborative efforts between River Days and the City of Renton, city support and budget, event highlights, survey results, and partnerships, including our 15-year title sponsor relationship with IKEA. I would also like to take this opportunity to say thank you to our Mayor Dennis Law, community members Gary Palmer, Doug Keyes, Carol Jansen, and city employees Bonnie Rarasich and Kelly Balcom-Bartok, who are very talented and generous photographers. Many of their images are used in tonight's presentation and consistently used in print and web marketing. This year celebrated the theme Spectacular, producing over 35 events, activities, and special programs over several days and at different locations. The main 3-day weekend in Liberty Park was July 26th through the 28th. With IKEA's title sponsorship since 1999, our festival is marketed and branded IKEA Renton River Days. Festival management consists of numerous event committees, City of Renton staff teams, and our board of directors. I know we have many of our festival volunteers at home watching council every Monday on their computers and their TVs, but we do have some that came down here tonight to be with us, and that they would please stand and be recognized. We have Carol Jansen, Bonnie Rarasich, Paul Hebron, Kelly Beamer. I sure hope I didn't forget anyone, so we appreciate them coming. In addition, we have dozens and dozens of volunteer event committees who meet and plan year-round. Event budgets, contracts, marketing, event features, and partnerships are established. River Days is blessed with the support from several key partners. At the top of that list is the City of Renton. Thank you, Mayor Law and Council President Corman and members of Council for your continued annual support. Each department listed is critical to the safety, organizational, and logistical success of the festival. City staff ensure clean parks, restrooms, and city facilities, safe streets, on-site first aid, tent inspections, permitting, technical services, generating maps and layouts, security, and traffic control, to name just a few. Similar to the city's 4th of July, our police is present each day from morning to evening and then throughout the night with on-site officer presence for security at Liberty Park. The city serves as a valuable source of support and expertise in safety and emergency preparedness. Budget. The table here reflects 7 years of tracking River Days related expenses through the city's project accounting system. The cost to the City of Renton, so the column on the right, includes loss of revenue or city in-kind services, such as loss of picnic shelter revenue or the loss of revenue from renting out the community center or the senior center. So that loss is captured in the cost to the City of Renton. And it includes staff time, including the value of benefits. The total cost of event, so the column, of course, to the left, includes both the value of city support and all sanctioned event expense budgets. So this will vary year to year depending on that lineup of sanctioned events. So joining me to continue with our presentation and through the end is Carol Jansen. She is the marketing director for First Savings Bank Northwest. She's been a volunteer with River Days on the board since 2009, and she is our current festival chairman.
Woohoo!
Welcome, Carol.
Mayor Law, Council President Corman, members of the council, and guests. It's my pleasure to take you through many of the highlights of our festival this year. Our planning teams continue to work to keep River Days fresh and re-energized for everyone involved. Our goal is to evaluate and evolve so that our event reflects current interests. Last year, we changed up the format, concept, and timing of what had been our annual kickoff banquet. We created an event which essentially launched festival season in Renton. We now refer to this as our launch and appreciation event. It was held mid-June at the IKEA restaurant, celebrating our 15-year title sponsorship relationship with them. Attended by festival volunteers, sponsors, dignitaries, and community members, it provided the opportunity to mix and mingle and strike up conversations in a social and casual setting, and to show those that volunteer and support Rent River Days our gratitude. IKEA also announced at this event their intent to remain title sponsor for 2014. Because it was held mid-June, we had many positive remarks from attendees who could now attend because they were not in the middle of the crunch week of festival season. Also launching festival season in Renton and starting nearly the next day was Duck Hunt 4. The Duck Hunt is a month-long activity leading up to festival weekend where the main objective is for the public to hunt with clues from Facebook and Twitter and find 30 decorated ducks in different business and community locations. Host locations were located in the Highlands, Cascade, Renton Avenue corridor, and downtown areas. The final duck was found at the Salvation Army food drive booth at Liberty Park during festival weekend, where the Duck Hunt players donated food in support of the food drive. New this year, the Art Market Committee volunteers hosted and organized Artists in Action, a booth where artists could sign up for 1-hour spotlight opportunities and showcase their craft, be it sketching, painting, or even piano playing. Over the last year, a subcommittee from the Board of Directors has been working with a developer to launch our new festival website. The site went live this year, and our team will continue to revisit, revise, and refresh this gateway to Rent River Days. Maybe you noticed something different. We have a new tent vendor this year. This was a big impact to the logistics at Liberty Park and for River Days, as it is our largest expense. It also impacted the setup and breakdown timelines at Liberty Park. We have been very happy with our choice of ABC Special Event Rentals and intend to work with them again in 2014. Since 1986, the Festival's Board has awarded the Outstanding Service Award in recognition of an individual or group efforts which demonstrate dedication to the quality and the lasting legacy of Renton River Days. This year, we recognized Kent Phillips of Star 101.5 and our parade announcer for over 20 years. Kent shares not only his energy and charisma on parade day, but helps to provide resources from 101.5, such as the speakers and sound systems. A tradition for 28 years, activities for kids and families remain free of charge. Activities may be art-oriented, educational, cultural, or recreational, and promoting physical activity. We feel very fortunate to have strong and sustaining relationships with the majority of our sponsors who return year after year. It's because of these partnerships that the festival is able to feature so many free activities. Family fun also centered on the 3 shows of the Wenatchee Youth Circus at Cedar River Park. Having the circus at Cedar River Park also grows the visual footprint of River Days and has been a wonderful use of that space, with so many other activities featured within Liberty Park. Each year, the interest for participation by the community increases. In Liberty Park, we see several dozen community booths with outreach materials providing ways to inform the public about their programs and services. One of these community booths was the Lee's Martial Arts Breakathon. Back again to host their fundraiser within River Days, the Breakathon raised over $15,000 for communities and schools of Renton, the mentoring program within the Renton School District. As I mentioned earlier, the final stop for this year's duck hunt was the Salvation Army food drive booth. Over 400 pounds of food was collected this year, which helped to provide several hundred meals in the Renton community. And festival attendees enjoyed the opportunity to browse and shop the 3-day book sale at the Downtown Renton Library, organized by the Friends of the Library. River Days is an opportunity to showcase a variety of visual, cultural, and performing arts. 2 very popular features located at Liberty Park are the Arts and Crafts booth of the Art Market and the Chalk Art Contest, coordinated by Allied Arts. The Downtown Renton Library and Renton Community Center also hosted art-related events. At the At the quilt exhibition this year, nearly 85 quilts were displayed inside the library. At the community center, numerous pieces of juried fine art were available for sale at the Renton Annual Art Show. During our 3-day weekend, nearly 40 entertainment groups and over 400 performers were featured on 2 outdoor stages in Liberty Park. Of the groups that performed, 25% were from the Renton community. The performing arts came alive at Renton Civic Theater's 28th annual all-teen musical production of Legally Blonde, produced with the partner of Renton Civic Theater. 26 youth were cast in this year's production. A sanctioned event with IKEA Renton River Days for several years, the Puget Sound BMW Club hosts their annual car show during festival weekend. Over 110 cars were displayed at Cedar River Park. Rotary Club of Renton is a significant community partner to River Days in coordinating one of the most popular festival events, the Rubber Ducky Derby. Raising nearly $20,000 this year and 4,200 ducks floating down the Cedar River, many local charities will benefit from Rotary's contributions. The festival is also home to many recreational events, reinforcing the importance of providing opportunities to connect with our healthy community initiatives. The tennis tournaments, fun walks, golf, and soccer tournaments provide competitive recreation for nearly 1,000 participants. Entertainment, dancing, and delicious catered lunch enticed 500 seniors to attend the Senior Day picnic. Dozens of city staff and several of our elected officials were there to help serve at the picnic, and it was again a sellout. Renton service clubs are some of the most active community partners, providing services and hosting events. The Renton Lions Club coordinated the pancake breakfast at the Renton Senior Center, a wonderful way to start the morning before heading off to see the parade. And speaking of, the parade is one of our most popular ways in which to participate at IKEA Renton River Days. With over 105 entries and 1,800 participants, the community comes out to march down South 3rd Street for the thousands of spectators along the sidewalks. This year, we were proud to recognize Kirby Huntai, former pastor at St. Matthew's Lutheran Church and recently elected bishop. Kirby served as a chaplain for the police department and a member of Renton Rotary, a longtime advocate of education, and together with St. Matthew's has been actively involved in the betterment of our community. Another spotlight in downtown Renton and helping to promote Renton River Days, the Merchants Decorated Windows. Similar to the duck hunt, decorated windows create excitement and energy in the downtown core as tens of thousands of vehicles pass through in the weeks leading up to the festival. The festival benefits from several media relationships to effectively market IKEA Renton River Days with print, radio, web, social networking opportunities. Feedback and input from participants and attendees help us evaluate and how to plan for the future. In addition to distributing the survey to attendees throughout the various sanctioned events, our survey was also available online 2 weeks following the festival. This information is shared with committee staff and our board of directors. You have the expanded survey report in your council packet, but here we've pulled 3 highlights. Of those surveyed, 65% were from the Renton community, with 35 considered outside of Renton. We are pleased that 97% responded with a rating of 3 or higher out of a scale of 1 to 5 of their overall experience satisfaction. And that 96% would attend IKEA Renton River Days in the future. The festival is only possible with the efforts of our volunteers, community partners, and sponsors. This year, we tracked 758 volunteers and a combined total over 7,000 hours of service. The statistics from the independent sector, the value of festival volunteerism is $159,000. Volunteers help on planning committees, producing events, and organizing the activities for the children. Volunteers come from our service clubs, youth groups, faith community, sponsor organizations, and interested members of our community. IKEA Renton River Days has sanctioned events which generate net proceeds for charitable giving. The Renton Rotary Rubber Ducky Derby and Lee's Martial Arts Breakathon were just 2 such events. We estimate that $55,000 will be distributed back into the community as a result of these charitable events, programs, and from festival contributions to local organizations. We also track the value of the art awards and the contest prizes. $22,500 was awarded this year. The festival is very fortunate to have an ever-growing and very supportive family of festival sponsors. Shown here is First Savings Bank Northwest, McLennan Hardware, Renton Rotary, Waste Management, and Wizards of the Coast, who joined the City of Renton and IKEA as our most generous financial sponsors. The sponsor and contributor list of individuals, organizations, and businesses which support IKEA Renton River Days is significant, and here we welcome 4 new sponsors this year. Listed here, nearly 60 businesses and organizations that supported Renton River Days this year. We are very grateful as those sponsors join us in creating a quality, safe, and lasting community family celebration. This year, we celebrated the 15th anniversary of the title sponsorship with IKEA. Fortunately, they were unable to join us tonight, but we do thank them. Our relationship with IKEA is currently confirmed through 2014, and we will recognize our 16th year with them. So, 2014 marks the 29th celebration of IKEA Renton River Days. Fiscally, IKEA Renton River Days will continue to work in cooperation with the City of Renton and all sanctioned event committees to evaluate options which maintain a safe, high-quality event that appeals to the public and meets the sponsors' expectations. We welcome your ideas and input for our celebration, certainly one of Renton's longest-standing, most comprehensive, and favorite traditions. So mark your calendars for July 25th through 27th as we celebrate Renton River Days and bring more capital.
Thank you, Carol.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Taylor.
I'd suggest we have a moment of silence in memory of Suzanne, and if she backs up about 7 slides, there's a picture of Suzanne in the lower right corner.
Any pictures of Suzanne?
You're correct, of course. I will see if I can find the one you're referring to.
Right there,
Bottom right,
unless you got a better one.
her back is slightly to us. She's also pictured early in our presentation at the launch and appreciation event at IKEA. There's a board photo with our IKEA contacts, Deidre, the store manager, and Emily, and so she is definitely captured in our presentation.
We're going to have a moment of silence. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Does that conclude your presentation?
It does, unless we can entertain any additional
Do you have
comments or
any
questions?
Of Carol or of Sonia? Okay, well, thank you very
Thank
much.
you for your support.
Carol, thank you for your presentation.
Yeah, wonderful.
Okay, moving on, administrative report, Mr. Covington.
I have no report tonight, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, we have a couple people signed up to address the council for audience comment. When I call your name, please come to the podium, give your name and city of residence for the record, and you have 5 minutes to address the council. We have a timer right next to the city clerk. First is Howard McComber.
Howard McComber, live in the city of Renton. Just wanted to talk a little about affordable housing if I can. This will be something you'll hear from me for a while. We have a building boom starting up again, thank heavens. We have a lot of houses under production and starting off all over the city. The problem is that all these houses that are built, almost all of them, are built for the affluent, which is wonderful. We need houses for sharp people coming in. This is a great thing. But we don't have very many houses going in for people on the lower half of the median income. And we're talking about affordability. And so the opportunity is available to work together in a creative fashion to provide affordable housing. And that's what we're going to work together with. I'm working with Chip, working with other people here trying to get a handle on it for what I can do, but I think this is open for everybody. I think that people out there who are builders or have some ideas, I certainly do not have any quarter-out ideas. Anybody who can come up with ideas that can help, because there's a tremendous need. We have a need for housing on the lower end. I went to a meeting at Reach last week where we had the people in who are really hurting, and that's the people who are homeless. And another area where we're thinking of other things is seeing if we can come up with some ideas for places that are safe for people to stay at night. It's the scariest thing in the world. These people in 2013 don't sleep because they're afraid, because of this other people out on the street. It's just a situation that's going to take some creativity and some work. Appreciate all that you have done. We have the Center of Hope downstairs, which is really good, and we're having a fun run for Luther's Table and the Center of Hope on the 26th of this month over the Renton Stadium. There's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of this is a town that pitches in and helps. But if we can use our creativity and we can work the best that we can solve this problem, because we don't have enough new housing being built for the people on the moderate income level. We need to have that, and we need to think of ways to do this. And I appreciate all your support and help and ideas. Thank you.
Thank you, Howard. Next, we have a scout, and I'm not going to ruin your name. I can't read it, so please come forward and give your name for the record. Did you want to address the council?
Mr. Mayor, we apologize. We thought that was a general sign.
Okay. Oh, well, you're welcome to come forward if you have anything you'd like to say.
I think he is just here to...
Okay, well,
He's sufficiently traumatized now.
thank you very much.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, Mr. Taylor.
Could I encourage the young man just to come to the podium just so that we can hear your name, please? He'll remember this merit badge for the rest of his life.
So my name is Tupo Ila Lawaki, and I'm from Troop 202 of the Green River District.
Great. Welcome.
Tupo. We're glad you're here.
Yeah.
Thanks. Next is Richard Bray.
Good evening, Mayor Law and council members and city staff and audience members and you watching at home. Since Tupo didn't take his time, can I have his time too? Just kidding. I want to just say a moment about Suzanne Thompson, an occasion that I had with her that I just want to recognize her for. I was with St. Vincent de Paul, and we were doing the annual Husky Stadium blanket and coat drive there. And we thought, oh, it would be good to have some collection things for people who can give cash, if they weren't able to bring a coat or a blanket. And so we were hoping, maybe we should, so I went to talk to her, and I was like, well, maybe if we can get 10 or 20, of these buckets, that would be just good. She gave us about 75. Well, we didn't know what we were going to do. We hadn't planned to have 75 buckets, but we got people to all have to use those 75 buckets. We got thousands of dollars of cash from Husky fans, not only that year, but all subsequent years. So Suzanne Thompson, thank you for that, and God rest your soul for all the many good things you did for this community. But I'm here tonight because I want to comment. I thought that Brian Beckley's Rent Reporter editorial last week was a very thoughtful recommendation to the council. In it, he said to preserve the right of residents and non-residents to address the council on city business, but reserve the right to cut off non-residents discussing non-city business. You as city council members should not have to listen to ongoing ranting by non-residents or have your time wasted repeatedly on an ongoing basis. That said, I hope you will keep the full 5-minute audience comment period and the second audience time at the end of the meetings, and that you always value your residents' input. As servant leaders, it is your privilege and honor to listen to your residents under the current time frame. So again, I encourage you to maintain that. Show gracious hospitality whenever any of your residents sacrifice their personal family time to come here before you. And when they summon the courage and approach this microphone to speak to you. And by the way, I thought that was very good that Tupo was encouraged to come up here to share his name. That was very good. Remember that a resident should not be rushed when they come up here. she or he should be granted the time necessary to convey their thoughts to you. And not everyone is a polished public speaker, unlike some of you see maybe too often. Yes, make reasonable adjustments in the policy for non-residents on non-city businesses, but please preserve the current 5-minute audience period and the second comment period for residents and those speaking on city business. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is the consent agenda. We have, you have
Oh,
something?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, go
Yeah, I
ahead.
just was going to make a general comment that reminded me, and that seemed like the time to do it, that I just wanted to thank all the members of the community and the Renton Reporter for all the good suggestions about the audience comment. And it seemed like that was a common theme, as so many of the residents really appreciate that opportunity to speak, and are really, but they understand our dilemma, and they were making a lot of great suggestions about how we could work through that. And I thought they ought to know that our attorney was giving us some advice as well about some options that we have, and so I suspect at some point as a council we should pick that up and figure out exactly how to work that. But I just mostly wanted to thank the community for the support they've shown and the understanding as we try and work through that. That's all.
Okay, thank you. Next is the consent agenda. We have 8 items for the council to consider. Are there any items a council member would like pulled for discussion?
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, Mr. Taylor.
I'd like to have item H pulled.
Okay, and with that, Mr. Mayor, I move approval of the consent agenda minus item H.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Mr. Corman, seconded by Ms. Palmer. The council concur with the consent agenda minus item H. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Mr. Taylor.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. A couple of years ago, we received a similar grant, a SAFER grant, had an opportunity to bring on about 9, maybe 11 firefighters, and that was great to strengthen our emergency services. And now we've got another opportunity to do that, and I'm happy that we're able to successfully get this federal grant from FEMA. Earlier this year also, during our retreat, I did a report based on some EEO data that I had collected from our HR department that revealed that our fire department is not as diverse as it could be. At the time, I revealed that we were at about 5% diversity on our fire department. That could be somewhat different now. I'm not sure of any recent hires, but I see this as an opportunity for us to improve on that, especially in our emerging community. As diverse as we are a city of 51% people of color, and I think that it's a great opportunity for us to pursue opportunities to diversify our fire service and be more reflective in how we deliver that service throughout our community. And I'm happy that we have this grant. With that,
Okay, would you like to approve?
Move concurrence of the...
yes, I would like to improve it, have it improved for the council concur with item H.
Second.
Consent agenda.
Okay. It's been moved by Mr. Taylor, second by Mr. Corman, that council concur with item H. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you, Mr. Taylor. Moving on to unfinished business, Mr. Corman.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, Mr. Taylor.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, Mr. Zwicker.
No unfinished business.
Ms. Breyer.
Yes, the Finance Committee has 3 reports.
Finance Committee report, approval of claims and payroll vouchers. The Finance Committee approves for payment on October 7th, 2013, claim vouchers 324-340 through 324-678, 4 wire transfers and 1 payroll run with benefit withholding payments totaling $6,530,056.50, and payroll checks include 768 direct deposits and 71 payroll checks totaling $1,567,143. This is signed by the
Mr. Mayor,
committee members.
Yes, Ms. Breyer.
I move that council concur with this Finance Committee report.
Second.
Been moved by Ms. Breyer, seconded by Mr. Person, that council concur with the Finance Committee report. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Finance Committee report, new hire at Step D of the 2013 salary schedule. The Finance Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to authorize that the most qualified applicant for the Transportation Administrative Secretary 1 position be hired at grade A09, Step D of the 2013 salary schedule, and to approve the salary to be retroactive to her start date of September 23rd, 2013. This is signed by the committee.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, Ms. Breyer.
I move that council concur with the Finance Committee report.
Second.
Been moved by Ms. Breyer, seconded by Mr. Person, that council concur with the Finance Committee report. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Finance Committee report, lease extension for the Edlin Property House. The Finance Committee recommends concurrence with the staff recommendation to approve addendum number 3 to the lease for the city-owned Edlin Property House located at 17611 103rd Avenue Southeast to the Renton Housing Authority, extending the term to December 31, 2015, in an amount up to $5,316 per year. The committee further recommends that the mayor and city clerk be authorized to sign the addendum. This is signed by the Finance Committee.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, Ms.
I
Breyer.
move that the council concur with the Finance Committee report.
Second.
It's been moved by Ms. Breyer, seconded by Mr. Zwicker, that council concur with the Finance Committee report. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, Mr. Prince.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, Mr. Person.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
And Ms. Palmer.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to resolutions and ordinances, we have one ordinance for first reading and one for second and final reading.
The ordinance for first reading regards the cable television, the Comcast franchise extension. An ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, amending ordinance number 4412 by extending the term of the cable television franchise held by Comcast of Washington 4 and Comcast of California, Colorado, Washington 1 Incorporated.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Person.
I move the ordinance be placed on second and final reading at the next council meeting.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Person, seconded by Mr. Zwicker, that this ordinance be placed on second and final reading at the next council meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
And the ordinance for second and final reading regards the alcohol consumption in parks, the code amendment. An ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, amending Section 2-9-8 of Chapter 9, Parks Commission of Title II, Commissions and Boards of the Renton Municipal Code by reducing the penalty for possessing or consuming alcohol in parks to a civil violation.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Taylor.
I move that this ordinance be adopted as read.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Taylor, seconded by Ms. Palmer, that this ordinance be adopted as read and requires a roll call.
Mr. Corman?
Aye.
Mr. Taylor?
Aye.
Mr. Zwicker?
Aye.
Ms. Breyer?
Aye.
Mr. Prince?
Aye.
Mr. Person?
Aye.
Ms. Palmer?
Aye.
Roll call, Mr. Mayor. All ayes.
The ayes have it. Thank you, Bonnie. Moving on to doing business, Mr. Corman.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'd just like to announce a committee of the whole meeting for October 14th, that's Monday, 6 o'clock p.m. And it'll be right here in council chambers. We've got one item on the agenda, it's a good one, the Benson Hill Community Plan.
Okay.
And that is all, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Taylor.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, Community Services Committee will have a meeting on October 14th at 4:30. One item also on our agenda, the appointment of Angelina Benedetti to the Planning Commission. That is all.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Zwicker.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, the Planning and Development Committee will be meeting on Monday, October 14th, 2013, beginning at 9 a.m. in the council conference room, where we have 3 items. One is the City Center Plan Priorities, second is Benson Hill Community Plan Briefing, and the 3 is docket number 9. That is all, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Breyer.
Yes, the Finance Committee will meet on Monday, October 14th at 4 p.m. in the council conference room. We have one item, reserve and stabilization funds.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Prince.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, the Utilities Committee will meet on October 14th, 2013 at 5 p.m. We have 2 items on our agenda, water use efficiency goal setting and transfer station plan update briefing. That is all, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Person.
No new business.
Okay, and Ms. Palmer.
Yes, the Transportation Aviation Committee will meet this Thursday, which is October 10th at 4 p.m. in the council conference room. 2 items on the agenda, emerging issues in transportation, which is just a briefing, and 2, performance-based navigation
RAC recommendation, Renton Airport Advisory Committee. And that's just a briefing as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Was there anybody who wanted to address the council before we adjourn?
Will we?
Oh, yes.
Something different. Hi again, my name is Richard Bray. I live here in Renton. This weekend, which is right before Columbus Day, being on Monday, the Knights of Columbus of Renton is joining an effort that's being done nationwide by the Knights of Columbus in projects to help people with disabilities. Here in Washington State, the effort is going to support mostly Special Olympics of Washington. What will be happening in Renton is at the Fred Meyer store on Friday evening, all day Saturday and Sunday, the Knights of Columbus will be giving free Tootsie Rolls to people who come. And as part of that giveaway, and yes, there is a free Tootsie Roll for everyone, people will be invited to make a contribution to Special Olympics as well. So it's a big effort. There was $100,000 collected in Washington State last year. It's going on again this year and across the nation. So members from the Knights of Columbus at St. Anthony's Parish in Renton will be volunteering to staff the Renton Fred Meyer on Rainier Avenue. So if you see somebody handing you a Tootsie Roll, take it gladly, and if you feel so inclined, please help give something towards Special Olympics. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Move we adjourn. Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Person, seconded by Mr. Zwicker that we adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned.